Getting dot yeah. It's hot tonight dot where to? Doesn't matter. We're going to Brasília. Federal District. June 2021. Picture this. The capital of Brazil. Modern. Plan. Organized. The seat of government. And just outside the city limits, in the rural areas surrounding Brasília, someone is hunting families, breaking into homes, murdering entire families, burning houses down. For 20 days in June 2021, the region around Brasília was paralyzed by fear. Schools closed. People barricaded themselves inside. Armed vigilante groups formed because a man named Lázaro Barbosa de Sousa was on the run, and he wasn't running away. He was hunting. Between June 9th and June 28th, 2021, Lázaro killed at least 4 people, injured several more, committed arson, robbery, kidnapping. Over 200 police officers were hunting him. Helicopters, dogs, drones. The largest manhunt in Brazilian history. After 20 days, Lázaro evaded them. He knew the land, survived in the wilderness, moved at night, attacked when people felt safe. He became a ghost, a legend, a monster. Social media exploded. People tracked his movements online, shared sightings, warned neighbors. Some called him a serial killer. Others said he was just desperate, surviving. But the families whose homes he invaded, whose loved ones he killed, they knew the truth. Lázaro Barbosa wasn't desperate. He was deliberate. June 28, 2021. After 20 days, police finally cornered him. There was a shootout. Lázaro was killed, shot multiple times, died at the scene. The manhunt was over, but the questions remained. Tonight, we're going to Brasília. We're going back to June 2021. We're going to talk about what happens when a man with nothing to lose becomes the most wanted person in Brazil. You ready? Good. Because this one doesn't end with an arrest. It ends with a body, and a nation asking how one man terrorized an entire region for 3 weeks. Let me tell you about Lázaro Barbosa, the man who turned rural Brasília into a war zone. Lázaro Barbosa de Sousa. Born 1988, Bahia State, Northeast Brazil. Poor rural background, difficult childhood. By his teens, Lázaro had a criminal record. Theft, assault, rape, murder. Yes, murder, plural. In 2007, when Lázaro was 19, he was convicted of murdering the people in Bahia. Sentenced to prison, he escaped multiple times. The last escape was in 2018. By 2021, Lázaro had been on the run for 3 years, living in the wilderness around Brasília, stealing food, breaking into rural homes, surviving off the land. He knew the terrain, the forests, the farms, the isolated houses where people felt safe. And on June 9, 2021, he decided safety was an illusion. June 9th, 20 to 1 evening, a family home in Ceilândia, a region just outside Brasília. The Vidal family, father, mother, 2 teenage sons. Lázaro broke into their home, armed with a gun he'd stolen in a previous robbery. What happened inside the house is reconstructed from evidence and the sole survivor's testimony. Lázaro shot the father, shot one of the sons, shot the mother. The other son managed to escape, ran to neighbors, called police. By the time police arrived, the house was on fire. Lázaro had set it ablaze to destroy evidence. 3 members of the Vidal family were dead. 1 survived. Lázaro disappeared into the night. Police launched an immediate manhunt. They knew who they were looking for. Lázaro Barbosa de Sousa, escaped convict, no murderer. But finding him in the rural wilderness around Brasília was nearly impossible. The region is vast. Forest. Farmland, small towns, hundreds of places to hide, and Lázaro knew it better than anyone. June 10, 2021. Another rural home, another break-in. This time, a farm. Lázaro held the family hostage for hours, stole food, weapons, clothing. The family survived, reported it immediately. Police descended on the area. Helicopters, K-9 units, hundreds of officers. But Lázaro was gone, vanished into the forest. June 11th. Another sighting. Another near miss, June 12th. Another break-in. Another family terrorized. The pattern was clear. Lázaro wasn't trying to escape the region. He was living in it, hunting in it, and the police couldn't catch him. By mid-June, the manhunt for Lázaro Barbosa was national news. Every Brazilian news outlet covered it. Social media exploded. People shared sightings in real time. The region around Brasília was paralyzed by fear. Schools closed. Businesses shut down early. People armed themselves. Vigilante groups formed to patrol neighborhoods. The government deployed over 200 police officers, federal police, military police, SWAT teams. They used helicopters, drones, thermal imaging, tracking dogs, and still, Lázaro evaded them. June 15, 2021, Lázaro broke into another home, held a family hostage, stole supplies. Police arrived within minutes, surrounded the area. Lázaro escaped on foot into the forest. They chased him, lost him. June 18th. Another sighting, another chase, another escape. People started calling him a ghost, superhuman. Some on social media even romanticized him, called him a modern outlaw. But the families he terrorized knew better. June 25th, 2021, Lázaro broke into a rural home, kidnapped a farm worker, held him hostage for hours, eventually released him. Unharmed but traumatized, the man told police Lázaro was calm, methodical, not panicked, not desperate. He was in control, and he was enjoying it. June 28, 2021, 20 days into the manhunt, police received a tip. Lázaro had been spotted near a farm in Aguas Lindas de Goiás, just outside the federal district. Over 100 officers converged on the location. This time, they didn't lose him. Lázaro was cornered in a wooded area. Surrounded, police ordered him to surrender. He opened fire. Police returned fire. The shootout lasted several minutes. When it was over, Lázaro Barbosa de Sousa was dead, shot multiple times. The manhunt was over. Lázaro's body was recovered, identified, autopsied. He'd been shot over a dozen times, died at the scene. Police confirmed the man who terrorized Brasília for 3 weeks was finally gone. But the questions remained. So what drove Lázaro Barbosa? Let's talk about the theories. Lázaro had been on the run since 2018, living in the wilderness, stealing to survive. The murders were acts of desperation. He needed food, weapons, supplies. He killed because he was cornered, because people fought back. Evidence. He stole food and clothing at every break-in. He was clearly surviving off the land. Problem. The Vidal family murder was excessive. Execution style. He burned the house down. That's not desperation. That's deliberate. Lázaro had a history of violence. Multiple murders before 2021. Rape convictions. He was a violent predator. The manhunt just gave him more opportunities. He enjoyed the power, the fear, the control. Evidence. Survivors said he was calm, methodical, not panicked. He took his time during break-ins. Problem. If he enjoyed it, why move so frequently? Why not stay and terrorize longer? Lázaro knew the police were hunting him, knew he'd probably die. He decided to go out causing maximum chaos, maximum fear. The murders, the break-ins, the escapes were all about defiance, about proving he couldn't be caught. Evidence. He had multiple opportunities to flee the region. He stayed. He kept attacking. This theory fits the evidence best. For 20 days, over 100 police officers couldn't catch one man. Why? Because Lázaro knew the terrain. Because he moved at night. Because he was patient. But also because the region is vast. Rural. Forested. Perfect for someone who knows how to disappear. This wasn't incompetence. It was geography. How many people did Lázaro really kill? Official count during the manhunt. For dead, several injured. But Lázaro had been on the run since 2018. 3 years. How many other crimes did he commit that were never connected? How many other families did he terrorize who never reported it? We'll never know. Because Lázaro is dead, and dead men don't confess. Lázaro Barbosa de Sousa is dead, killed in a shootout on June 28, 2021. The families he terrorized are still traumatized, still afraid. The region around Brasília recovered slowly. Schools reopened. People returned to normal. But the fear lingered, and the question remained, how did one man evade 100-plus police officers for 3 weeks? The answer is uncomfortable, because it reveals the limits of modern policing, the advantages of terrain, the power of someone with nothing to lose. Lázaro wasn't superhuman. He was just prepared, patient, and willing to kill anyone who got in his way. The meter's off. Brasília is quiet tonight. The capital is safe, modern, organized. But just outside the city limits, in the rural areas where Lázaro hunted, people still lock their doors tight, still check the woods before going to sleep, still remember the 20 days when one man made them feel unsafe in their own homes. Some fears don't end with a body. Some fears just wait. There's an ancient principle about violence and fear. That fear is a weapon. That uncertainty is a prison. Lázaro Barbosa understood that. He didn't just kill people. He terrorized an entire region. For 20 days, families didn't know if tonight would be the night he came for them. Parents kept children home from school. People armed themselves. Vigilante groups patrolled, not because of what Lázaro had done, but because of what he might do. That's the power of fear. There's a truth woven into existence, that evil thrives in chaos. That violence without motive is more terrifying than violence with reason. Lázaro didn't have a clear motive. He wasn't robbing for money, wasn't killing for revenge. He was just destroying. Because he could. Because he was cornered. Because he had nothing to lose. And that made him more dangerous than any serial killer with a plan. I think about the families whose homes he invaded. The ones who survived. Who hid in closets. Who heard him moving through their houses. Who looked into his eyes and didn't know if they'd see tomorrow. That trauma doesn't end with his death. It lives on. In nightmares. In locked doors. In the fear that someone might come back. There's a warning in ancient wisdom about those who live by violence. That they will die by violence. That the sword they pick up will be the sword that kills them. Lázaro lived violently. Killed at least for people. Terrorized dozens more. And he died in a shootout. Shot over a dozen times. The sword he picked up killed him. But the people he hurt, the families he destroyed, they don't get that clean ending. They just get the memory. And the fear. Hey, thanks for taking this ride with me tonight. This one's different. Recent. 20-1. You might remember it from the news. 3 weeks. One man, 200 police officers, and a nation watching in real time. If this case made you think, hit that like button. Subscribe for more modern true crime cases that captured the world's attention. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. How did Lázaro evade police for so long? Was he a serial killer or just desperate? What does this case reveal about modern manhunts? I read everyone. Share this with someone interested in recent crime, in manhunts, in the psychology of predators with nothing to lose. Next case. New story. Same cab. Until then, remember, some predators don't hide in cities. They hide in the wilderness, where terrain is an advantage and civilization is far away. Stay vigilant.